Well, there it is. That's the classic little caster wheel that so many pianos over a few centuries now have had. This is what they left the factory in or with. A little cast iron, cleverly made little caster that gave faithful service for a long time. In actual fact, they were fitted to pianos so that they could be wheeled around the factory floor while the piano was being finished and constructed. Thereafter, they were supposed to sit in caster cups. Now, caster cups, sometimes called sconces. There are a few things around the piano that get referred to as sconces, but caster cups, I'll call them, were often placed on the floor and then the piano very carefully lowered into that so that all four caster wheels sat in a sconcer or a caster cup. These little timber ones that we still make here, we turn them and put a felt base on them because a lot of people don't want to move their piano about. They're happy for it to stay in their home, sitting preferably in caster cups like that. Going way back, this is a lovely example of a set of cups or sconces, as we used to call them, and made of glass. Now, how would glass take the weight of a piano? Well, it's immensely strong, and it did take them. And our family, we have a wonderful collection, started by my father back in the 30s, of glass caster cups or sconces. And of course, you can see that the little caster sat there nicely and faithfully and was held up slightly off the floor, and the aim of that was so that if ever the piano was moved, there wouldn't be an impossibly difficult little dent in the carpet or in the timber floor or linoleum or whatever the floor was. So they were number one, they protected the floor, but also they raised the piano to the correct height for playing, for the pedals. So as tuners, we often see pianos nowadays sitting on lovely shag pile carpet or something like that, where they've sunk in half an inch or 3/4 of an inch, which means the whole piano has subsided down, and there's barely room to operate the pedals. And you'll see instances where the pedals in a person's piano at home, the pedals touch right down to the carpet or whatever, and that's because the little casters don't have caster cups under them. Now, we're in a new era of piano casters and have been now for perhaps 10 years. And a German-designed caster, specifically for pianos, has been made. This isn't something you'll go to one of the big hardware stores and buy. This is a beautifully engineered piano caster, which is built and engineered to take the full weight of not only a piano but a pianola. And there we're looking at perhaps anything from 1/4 of a tonne to 1/3 of a tonne. So we want really reliable, top quality casters. And we in the piano industry now have for many years now been able to get these beautiful casters. Now you'll notice that it's somewhat taller than the original little caster cups. And how much taller? We're only looking up to this surface, of course, not the little spike that goes into the piano. But how much difference? Well, in actual fact, about the height of a piano caster cup. So what they've done in engineering the new ones is to give us the ability to have the piano raised up to the proper playing height that they were always intended to be. In other words, the original caster sitting in a caster cup. Alright, we take those two elements away and we replace those, which in many cases are worn out or missing, we replace those with 4 beautiful new German designed piano casters. Wonderful tensile strength in the steel. The twin wheels save any damage to floors, and we'll demonstrate that in a minute. And a beautiful ball brace there, so that even with the weight of the piano sitting there, these casters will still obediently turn around if the piano has to be moved, and will go over any surface, from slate, which is very uneven and easily marked. They'll roll over slate floors without causing any trouble. Highly polished floorboards, vinyls of any sort, carpets of any sort, and even cork. We've had to wheel pianos through kitchen and dining areas sometimes on these when they're usually fitted to the piano, and even on cork floors and tile floors, not a problem in the world. I just wish we'd had them 40 and 50 years ago, because just about every piano around about now would have them. I've just finished fitting a set of the new castors to this German piano. They'll fit just about any style of piano, the Americans, the Australian pianos, English and the Germans. Some of the modern pianos, we even have ways of fitting them too with these castors. Now, if castors move smoothly without taking 4 or 5 people to push it along, it also means they move more safely. Now I have come to this home. This is a little demonstration, of course. It's actually our home, but just pretend it's yours. I've come to the home and I've put the piano quite safely over on its back on a special piano cradle. In the piano industry, as restorers, we have a number of cradles and lifters and implements that we use to put the piano on its back, or to lift one end of the piano or the other, and to turn the piano around if need be. So while we've got them in the workshop, the piano's turned this way and that, and always supported on proper cradles or lifters. And then when it comes time to move it, well, we use piano trolleys. But I'll just show you now how nicely this piano will come back onto its feet for us, and then I'll demonstrate how it's going to go on this polished floor. Now the piano, as you can see, is on a timber floor. Normally we'd panic if it had the old castors, but with the new breed of castors, look what I can do. One hand, one person, moving that beautifully. No possibility whatsoever of scratching or scuffing the floor or leaving any indentations. The piano just does obligingly what I want it to. But because of the choice of the materials in the castors, it also means it won't roll away from us. It's on a hard timber floor. It doesn't mean that if I nudge it, it's not going to scoot away across the room. It will only go while there's pressure to move it. They really are quite a revelation. So part of my service is, and has been for some time, is to come to a person's home and assess the piano, put it on its back on the cradle if need be, take the old damaged castors off, replace them with the new breed of castors, the Deluxe castors we call them, and then manoeuvre that round to where it's required in the home. And that can be over newly polished floorboards, as I was saying, or any other floor covering. No trouble whatsoever, and that's a guaranteed job. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, you can get our number, and I'm very happy to make a time to come along and do that. And if on that same visit the piano requires tuning, well, I do the tuning at a much reduced rate. Normal piano tuning around Melbourne at the moment, and all our major cities within the greater areas of those cities, is anywhere from $170 to $180, depending on what needs to be done. The castors, I will come to your home and fit them, and the total cost for that is $480, $480, and that's done safely, and then with a nice guarantee form comes with those castors. So I thought I'd just take time today to show you that there's a way out of having a piano sitting there unable to be moved, or causing problems every time it is wanted to be moved. These casters, we have another version too, which allows them to roll around on a stage on a school floor, school hall and whatever, and very good they are too. These are the domestic ones and they're perfectly fine. So casters for pianos, they make life easy for everyone from there on.